Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the 1111 Matrix Code Revealed. As always, I'm your host, Garrett King. Tonight's episode, or today's episode, depending on when you're watching it. It's nighttime while I'm recording, but who knows when you're going to be watching it. We're going to cover some new interesting stuff that has just literally come up today and literally just kind of over the weekend as well. So this is all relatively new information. And it's very interesting stuff. I think it's going to blow some minds when you start to see what I unpack for you guys in this video. I'm going to try to do it very quickly because when we get to one portion of this, I'm going to have to actually kind of build geometric shapes. So bear with me, but I'm going to try to do it very quickly. I don't want to just have it already pre-designed on screen for you, and I don't want to sort of, jump ahead or, speed up the video or anything like that, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm manipulating anything. I want to just basically build it on screen so you guys can see that it's actually being generated from these numbers. So, but we'll get to that here in just a moment. The very first thing that I want to cover it's actually, I have no idea what it means, to be honest. I just thought it was kind of funny, slightly entertaining maybe, but still an interesting phrase nonetheless. I have discovered that there is well, let me kind of jump back here. So I've already revealed to you guys that there's two phrases that come up concerning all of this that actually include my name, and these phrases result in the number 1111. So the first one was Garrett King decodes the God Matrix. Okay, so Garrett King decodes the God Matrix. That phrase includes my name and has the value of 1111. The other one was if I could type tonight, in God, Garrett King is the chosen mathematician. Okay, so that one has the value of 1111. And for those of you who have been watching my videos, you know why the number 1111 is important and how that number has been revealing itself to me ever since 2015, and how it's kind of, it's one of the numbers that started this whole thing. Now, the new phrase that I just discovered, I think it was on Saturday, is this one. It's funny, I laughed when I saw it, but it's Garrett King. Cannot type tonight. What the hell? Aliens made you. Garrett King, aliens made you, has the value of 1111. I took a screenshot of that and I sent it out to my brother and a few friends, and I was like, well, this explains it all. And I mean, it's interesting. I don't know what to make of it. Don't know if I need to call up my mom and say, hey, is there something you're not telling me? So, but anyway, just thought it was interesting. Wanted to kind of show you guys this. So one of the other things that I want to point out and this will kind of lead into the main thing that I want to show you tonight, is it's kind of demonstrating the importance of the number 369. So what I was doing is, because the whole thing that started this was taking the number 1111 and multiplying it by 333. Okay, because those are the numbers that were being shown to me ever since 2009 with 333, and then in 2015, 1111. So I wanted to see what would happen if I took 1111 and multiplied it by the other digits 1 through 9, but doing it as triple digits. So 1111 times 111, 1111 times 222, 444, 555, and so on. So I want you to look here at the lines that are in red. Okay, except for this bottom one. That's not that important. But if you notice, well, let's just start from the beginning. Let's just do that. So 1111 times 111 produces the number 123321. And then we add 1111 back to that number because that's how this sequence works. So when I started unpacking this code, it was taking 1111 times 333, getting the number 369963, adding 1111 back to that number, getting the first generated number of 371074, and then we add 369963 to that number, and then every new number that we get thereafter. Okay, that's the sequence. So that's why on this first one, 1111 times 111, we get 123321, and then we add 1111 back to it. I just wanted to see what the result would be. So the resulting number is 124432, which, using the code of taking the last four numbers and adding the remaining, we get the number 4444. Okay, and then going on to the next number, 222. These repeating numbers are kind of tongue twisters. So 1111 times 222, we get the number 246642. Add 1111, then you get the new number 247753. Using the same code of taking the last four digits, adding the remaining, we get 7777. Okay, so that's the process. And going all the way from 111 down to 999. So the reason that these are highlighted in red, except for this bottom one, let's just go ahead and, so it's not distracting to anybody. Okay, so just these lines in red. Keep in mind, it's 333, 666, 999. Or in other words, 3, 6, and 9. Only these numbers will produce a number that, when using the code of taking the last four digits and adding the remaining, they will come back to 1111. Okay? So, as you can see, let's just open up the calculator. And for those of you who've been watching my videos, you know this process. So we take the last four, 1074, add the remaining, which is 37, and we're back to 1111. Now, if you notice, when we get to 666, the number that's generated is 741037. That's the second number in the sequence. And then with 999, we get the number 1111 and then 3 zeros after it, which is the third number in the sequence. So it's interesting that only 3, 6, and 9, or 333, 666, 999, are the numbers that will produce 1111. Everything else produces either 4444 or 7777. Which, if you think about it, 4 and 7 is 11. But what we get when you take 4, 4, 4, 4 plus 7, 7, 7, 7, you get the number 1, 2, 2, 2, 1. Now, pretty sure we've seen this number before. Okay, we've talked about this. But what I'm most interested in is the fact that only 333, 666, and 999 come back to 1111. This could be partially part of what Nikola Tesla was talking about when he stated, if you only understood the magnificence of the 3, 6, and 9, you would hold a key to the universe. And you're going to see how that statement and these numbers play in to the next portion that I'm going to show you. And this is truly fascinating, folks. It literally gave me goosebumps. I mean, goosebumps on my arms and everything. I got chills when I saw this unfold. So let's go here to the screen. Now, let me just kind of explain how this started. It was literally this morning, lying in bed. I was waking up. I was in that kind of process where I'm half awake, half asleep. And I'm seeing this formation take place like in my head. Because I can't help it. I think about these numbers, the sequence a lot. And I was thinking of how, we take the number, or we get the generated number of 371074, add 369963 to it, and then we get a new number. So I was envisioning this, like the sequence of the number, 369963 starting here, and then it coming up to the new number, and then that number comes back down into 369, and then over to a new number, and then back. It'll make sense here in just a moment. But this is the exact process that I went through in order to produce this. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put a circle here on the screen, make it fairly big, and I'm going to center it. So that's what you're seeing there, is those crosshair lines showing up on the screen. That lets me know that I have this shape in the very center of this frame. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it has no fill, but it's going to have a border. And we're just going to thicken it up to about 7. Okay. And then I'm going to add a line, stretch it out, and make sure that it as well is right in the center. So I got the crosshairs. That lets me know that this line is in the center of this frame. And I'm going to thicken it up as well. Now, for those of you who have been watching the videos, you are aware of this. For those of you who are just kind of jumping in, as you can see over here, I've kind of typed out the sequence that I was just talking about. So this whole thing started when I was seeing the number 333 in 2009 for nearly an entire year, every single night. And then in 2015, I started seeing the number 1111. That's what started this whole thing. So 333 times 1111 is 369963. We add 1111 back to that number. We get the new generated number, 371074. Add 369963. We get the next generated number, which is 741037. Adding 369963, we get the third generated number, which is the 1111 with three zeros after it. The numbers I just showed you a moment ago. Then add 369963 to it. We get the next number, which is 1480963, and so on. And for those of you who have been watching, you know that I have taken this sequence all the way up to 100 billion. every number comes back to 1111. But the other thing is that the numbers, because remember, the code tells you, or, tells us to look at the last 4 digits and add the remaining. Okay, so we're going to separate 37 from 1074. And 74 is going to be separated from 1037. 111 will be separated from 1000, and so on. When you look at the numbers separated like that, you realize that the last 4 digits are going down by the number 37, and the remaining numbers are going up by the number 37. And you're going to see why that's important here in just a second. So now that I have this line here, I'm simply going to rotate it based on these numbers by 37 degrees. I'm going to duplicate that line, lay it on top of the other one, and this one I'm going to rotate minus 37, because remember, they're going up and down. Okay, that gives us a cross, or an X in the center of the circle. Now what I'm going to do is duplicate the circle. And please stick with me, folks. You're going to really freak out, I think, when you see the end result. I know this is a process getting to it. Bear with me, please. Okay, so I have a new copy of the circle laid on top of the other one. What I'm going to do is simply slide it over right to where it intersects with those lines at 37 degrees. Okay, so they're crossing right at those points. All right. And I just want to make sure. Okay. Okay. So as you can see, I got the crosshairs in the center, so I know that I'm perfectly where it needs to be. Okay. Now I'm going to remove those lines because they were just there as a marker, so I know where to place the second circle. I'm going to select them both and place them in the center. And I'm going to click this button here that says intersect. Now what this will do is it will remove this portion of the circle on both of these and only leave what you see here in the middle. Like that. Okay. Now I'm simply going to rotate this 90 degrees. I'm going to duplicate it, move it over. I'm going to zoom in because I want to make sure, as you can see here, there's like a little tiny, I don't know what you'd call it, point or nipple sticking out. What I want to make sure is that that is not showing that these are literally crossing right there, just like that. Okay. So you can see that the crossing line is matching up. Let me move this over so you can see it a little bit better. Okay. As we zoom out, you can clearly see we have the infinity symbol. I'm going to select both of those and I'm going to group them together, which by doing that places them back to a 0 degree status or starting point. Now, with that being said, I'm going to make sure that this one, this new shape that we've just created, is now in the center of the screen. Okay. And as you can see, the crosshairs have shown up, so I know it's exactly in the center. Boom. Now, this is where it's going to start getting cool. Remember, the numbers are going up and down by the number 37. So that's the number we're going to go by, or actually a sequence of 37, because we're going to focus on 37, 74, 111, 148, 185. So starting here, I'm going to rotate this shape 37 degrees. I'm going to duplicate it, lay it on top of itself, and now we're going to rotate it 74 degrees, which is 37 plus 37. Oops. Should be 74. Okay. Now we're going to take this one, duplicate, and set it on top of itself. And now the next number in line is 111. Okay. Because remember, the sequence is taking the last 4 digits and adding the remaining. So we're looking at the remaining numbers. So the last 4 on this one is 1,000. So the remaining is going to be 111. So we're going to rotate that new one, that new copy, 111 degrees. We're going to duplicate this one, set it on top of itself. The next number is 148. Rotate it 148 degrees. Duplicate that one, set it on top of itself. And the next number is 185. Rotate it 185 degrees. This is the shape that we get. Now, as you can see, this is the one that we rotated 37 degrees. This is the one we rotated 74 degrees. 111. 148. 185. 222. Okay, but we only went to 185, but because it's the infinity symbol, now we have the other side. So that puts the numbers going still. So adding 369, 963 to 1850926 produces the number 2590852. Okay. And then continuing that sequence, the new number would be 2960815. Then we get 3330778. And then finally 3700741. Every single one of these numbers, folks, as you know, will come back to 1111 using that key. So for example, for those who haven't seen my previous videos, you're just starting here. Let's just look at this number right here, the one that starts 333. So it goes 3330778. 0 does not calculate at the beginning of a number, so we must start with 778. Add 333 to it, because that's what's remaining. We have 1111. So all of these numbers are 1111. But this symbol here is known as the flower of creation. And the cool thing about it is it has actually shown up in a crop circle. I'm not sure where this crop circle, where the photograph was taken, but it's a crop circle. It's a photograph of a crop circle. And as you can see here in the middle, we have the flower of creation. What are the chances, folks, these numbers generate And you saw exactly everything I did. Everything I did. Okay? And the sequence of 37, going up and down by the number 37. We rotated all of them in increments of 37 degrees. And we get the shape. These numbers are revealing so much information. At this point, I don't think anybody can deny, and I've said it before with past information that was revealed, but the more this keeps going, the more it becomes clearly obvious that there is something to this. It is clearly by design, and something, I don't know what, but something is guiding this. And to me, it's incredibly fascinating. And to think that I was seeing this formation taking place in my head, of all things. And then when it's one thing seeing it kind of take place in your head, but not, I was seeing it as these loops. It was only after I got it into this format that I was like, what the actual fuck is going on? You know, like literally, like I said, I got chills. I got goosebumps from it. What this is showing us is literally this sequence. Because if you think in these lines, let's take this, let's see here. Actually, let's, well, if you remember, let's just create a new text here. So 369963. And let's just make this bold and red so it'll stand out. And we're simply going to place it right here in the center. Okay? So what this is showing us is, wow, the more I think about it, even just in this moment, is a repeating pattern. Because remember, every single one of these numbers can be turned back into 1111. So we're putting 1111 into 369963, and that generated the first number, 371074. And what this is showing us is that now we're going to take this number and loop it back down to 369963, because we're going to add that number to that number. Okay, we're going to add 369963 to 371074, and then it's going to loop up to the new number that it creates, 741037. And then it's going to come back down to 369963 because we're adding it to it, and it's going to come back up and create the new number. Back down, and then back over to the new number. It's going to rejoin 369963 and produce a new number, 1850926, and so on. It's this continual loop over and over and over. Remember me talking about these sequences, these cycles, the numbers going up and down by 37. We had the sequence 369, 258, 1470, and then it starts over. We got the phrase, the beginning is the end and the end is the beginning. And we got the infinity symbol as it started to unfold. And that's what this is. The infinity symbol. Over and over and over, and rotated in sequences of the number 37. It's insane. But just to show you how further connected this is and how intricate it is. Now, keeping in mind that all of these numbers come back to 1111. But what about the number 333, the one that started it all. Yes, it plays into the sequence by multiplying 333 by 1111 and getting 369963. But how is it being shown and represented here? We don't see it, but it's there, and I can prove it. So, and this is so cool. So as you know, 369963 can be reduced down to the number 9. And this is going to demonstrate to you folks how intricately hidden this is. All right. So how are we going to reduce 369963 down to the number 9? Well, simply add those numbers together. 3 plus 6 plus 9 plus 9 plus 6 plus 3 gives us the number 36. 3 and 6 is 9. Okay? So we have the number 9. That's what this number here is when it's reduced, when it's brought back to its sum number. It's 9. Now, each one of these is rotated 37 degrees or sequences of 37. Okay? Well, 9 times 37 is 333. Do you see what I'm talking about, folks? It's by design. And I think it's indicating and demonstrating to us that our idea of our creation is not what we've been told. And, who knows? I mean, many people could probably come up with multiple different interpretations. But you have to look at this whole thing as it's been unpacked so far. We get these continual references to a matrix, a simulation. And then we get this, the flower of creation, and how it's intricately worked into these numbers, almost like a computer. And then we saw also, when I demonstrated this for Micah, how we got to this point. Or actually, let's use this screen. With the cross, the symbol for the sun, SUN/SON, and how it's in the center, moving through all of these zodiac signs. Again, demonstrating to us that the Bible, the story that we've been told in the Bible, the creation story, the whole play out of the Bible is not what we've are taught. It's really, really freaking fascinating to me, and hopefully to you. Now, there's something else that goes on with this whole symbol here. So let me just demonstrate this. So I'm going to move that 369963 out of the way. And I'm simply going to drag my mouse cursor over all of these shapes so that we can see the bounding lines that make them up. And probably the best way for me to do this is to simply take a screenshot of it. And we're just going to load it into a new frame. And why don't we just enlarge it while we're at it? And we'll do that. Now I want you to zoom in here and look at these cross lines, folks, these blue lines. So this is going to get really cool again. Let's take and add a new line in here. Just kind of stretch it out. We're going to thicken it up a little bit. And let's just go ahead and change this one so it's red, so it stands out over the black. And as you can see, it's at a 0 angle degree. Now, let's actually just kind of stretch it a little bit longer. What I'm going to do is the same sequence. Rotate it 37 degrees. And I'm going to zoom in on this so you can see what I'm showing you here. If you look right here, we have where these blue lines cross one another. So we get this point. And I'm simply going to put this line starting at that point, and we probably have to stretch it down a little bit further to this point. And you can see it still says 37 degrees. Okay. I'm going to duplicate that one. Set it on top of itself. Rotate 74 degrees because that's the next number. And so the cross point is right here where these two blue lines are crossing one another. Okay, I'm going to set it there. I think the line's a little too long. So moving it up to right at this point where these lines cross down here. Okay. I'm going to copy it. Set it on top of itself. We're going to do 111 because that's the next number. Zoom in. That's the cross point right there where those blue lines intersect one another. And looks like it ends right about there. It's wanting to snap itself to a certain point. But as you can see right here, it's 111 degrees. Okay. Looks like a bunch of gobbledygook, but give me just a second. So we're going to duplicate that one. The next number in the sequence is 148. And it crosses there. And let me just zoom in here and make sure I've got it. Yeah. So right there. And just to make sure I'm accurate, I'm going to put in 148. Okay. All right, so we have a line going here. It doesn't look like anything as I'm doing this, but bear with me. I'm going to duplicate that one, set it on top of itself. The next number is 185. Okay. Place it there. I think this one has to be moved out just a little bit to there. And again, make sure it's accurately at 185, and it is. Okay. Doesn't look like anything. Looks like crap, actually. But bear with me. So we're going to duplicate this one That's at 37 degrees. And this one we're going to place here. The next one was 74. We're going to duplicate it. And we're going to place it here. The next one's 111. And we're going to place it here. And then we have 148. And that one is going to get placed here. And then the last one was the 185. And that one is going to get placed here. Okay. So it's meeting up where the lines cross. And it's in the exact same degree of rotation as all of these. Now let's remove the image itself, and we're left with this. It is 2 pentagrams, one upside down and the other one right side up. It's demonstrating the as above, so below. Again, all generated from these numbers, folks. I can only imagine what other geometric shapes these numbers are going to form. Again, demonstrating this is by design. All of this. And what's fascinating to me is the stuff that it's been revealing. The simple fact that this appearing in a crop circle, this shape, the fact that it revealed this information about the zodiac, it's unpacking and revealing all of these different esoteric systems that people have known about for a very long time. But I've never seen, and I'm not saying that anyone hasn't, I'm just saying I've never seen it. I've never seen anyone bring all of these different elements together based off of a simple equation through numbers. And this particular set of numbers. There's all kinds of information on the internet about 1111. There's all kinds of information about the number 333, 369, but nothing that shows a sequence of that all coming together and all of this other stuff being formed out of it. This is truly, folks, a hidden code, hidden right in front of our face. And why? I don't know. It's hard for me to accept this title with air quotes. I do air quotes, that I should be anything of any importance, like with those phrases, Garrett King decodes the God matrix, or in God, Garrett King is the chosen mathematician, or Garrett King, aliens made you. I mean, I have to laugh at that, but at the same time, I'm like, okay. But it's hard for me to say those things because I know how ridiculous it sounds. And I do not think that I am any different than any of you. I don't. And that's why I want to share this information with you, because we're all in this together. It's not me and then you. It's us. It's all of us. And that's the way it should be for everybody on this planet. I mean, we should all come together. And I've said this before, we should all come together as one collective, because we're no different. We're no different than anybody else. We're no better than anybody else. We're all the same. We're all connected. And we're all in this together. You know, I mean, if I have been chosen to be the one to reveal all this, then so be it. But, you know, it's just hard for me to, I don't know, accept that, because I again, like I said, I don't see myself as being any different than anybody else. And, you know, I'm just like everybody else, literally. So, but yeah. But wow, what a lot of information. What a lot of information. And like I said, I've never seen anybody, you know, and if they have, great, you know. I mean, that just, if other people have unpacked the same information this very same way, like I said, I haven't seen it, but if they have, that's just, even to me, it's further confirmation that there's something to this. And it needs to be looked at and not dismissed. And that's you know, I mean, that's typically what happens when, you know, when I start going through the process and explaining, you know, this whole thing to people. You know, I've seen it, you know, in comments, when I've been a guest on other podcasts. I've occasionally seen it, you know, in comments that have appeared on my own channel, you know, where people think that I'm just cherry picking numbers and I'm just manipulating things in ways that they shouldn't be manipulated. But I'm not. You can clearly see it on screen. That's why I didn't want to fast forward through any of this, you know, when I was creating the symbol for you on screen. I didn't want to have any sort of edits, any sort of jump cuts, any sort of fast forwarding. I wanted to literally create it right in front of you so you could see it for yourself based off these numbers, this sequence, this code. So there you have it. That's what I wanted to show you guys. And, you know, obviously the numbers continue in this sequence. You know, I don't know if I'm meant to continue, you know, creating these and rotating them and rotating and rotating them. I mean, after a while, you think it, you know, it would just start to kind of form this, you know, gobbledygook type thing, when it's just, you know, completely rotating around and around and around and around. But maybe it's meant to form a much different symbol as well, because like I said, every single one of these numbers comes back to 1111. So then do we start branching off from this symbol out? You know, from this point, this becomes 1111, add 333, we're back to 369963, and the whole process starts over. This whole thing. Yeah. So, but there you have it, folks. And I'm going to keep, you know, I keep looking at these numbers all the time, because the more that it reveals and the more it unpacks, I keep having this feeling which I've been right. There's more to it. There's more to it. There's more to be seen. And it's just, like I said, I literally woke up with this in my head. And though I could see it, at the same time, I couldn't see it like this. I just knew that it had this loop function that it had to do. And then this is what's revealed. So, all right, folks, that's going to be it for tonight. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope it helps you see for yourselves that, there's more to this. There's more to us. And there's more to this reality or false reality that we live in. So, yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end this here, and let me know what you think in the comments. So until next time, take care. Bye-bye.